So let's start with the role of a father in his daughter's life.
For the son, the father models and demonstrates how to be.
Yeah.
For a girl, daddy teaches her how to be a non-sexual, intimate relationship with a male. You see, in the son's life, the father is there as a role model and a demonstration. In a girl's life, daddy's there as a relationship. It's different. A daddy is very different than a father. And the pieces that he gives his daughter let her know how to be within herself as a woman.
And also how to be with other men, because isn't it the first relationship that you have with a man?
Yeah.
And the way he treats your mother, the way he treats you, is how you model for yourself how a woman should be treated.
How a woman should be treated and how a woman should behave, how a woman should interact in a non-sexual but intimate way with a male. When daddy leaves, he takes a piece of the daughter's soul with him. And that lacking, very often, we try to fill up in all sorts of ways. Now, there are 3 ways you can be daddyless, because my father was in the house, but I was daddyless. We're daddyless if
everybody
daddy
just went, Now we're going to call it the choir.
It's the daddyless daughter ache. It's an ache inside of you. So daddy is there, but he's not present.
And so you're aching to be seen.
You're aching to be seen. You're aching to be acknowledged. You're aching to be accepted. You're aching to be approved.
Yeah.
We're trying to catch somebody's eye. And very often when we have gotten it from daddy and he lets us know that you're beautiful, that you're pretty, that you're whatever, we don't have as much of a craving for the external validation. Then there's the daddylessness where daddy was never there. So we fantasize about what it would have been like had daddy been there. And we fantasize about who daddy was. And usually he's not a scoundrel or a weasel. You know, he's this thing, this great big hero thing that we miss and we didn't have it and somehow make it about us because we didn't have it. Then you have the daddy who was there and is now gone through divorce or death or whatever. And that creates this yearning, this hole that nothing ever seems to fill.
Hey guys, I hope you are doing well. Oh, this video is going to be so deep. You know, you can feel it already. I've been wanting to do this video for a while, but I just didn't know how to do it. And I think I was thinking too much into the way that I should say what I want to say, but I'm just going to talk. It may be a bit scattered, it may seem like I'm rambling, but I'm just speaking from my heart. So please bear with me if it gets a bit confusing, because I know when I talk and talk and talk, sometimes it makes no sense. So, see, the title is Daddyless Daughters. I'm a daddyless daughter. I know who my father is. I lived with him to the age of 11 with my mum and my sisters. And then my mum left him and we moved house. And my mum and his relationship was very, very volatile from what I remember growing up. I'm not going to go into details because it's none of my business to actually talk about. It's my mum and my dad's business. But it wasn't the best father upbringing, let's say that, because my mum is amazing. My mum is the most amazing woman I know. She is the strongest woman I know. She has gone through so much, and that's where I get my strength from. That's why I am such a strong person, because when I tell you what I've seen my mum go through and to know that she is the person she is today, I just have so much love for her that it's beyond. My father is a very complicated man. He's a very selfish person, and growing up with him, I didn't have the best role model for a father or for a man, put it that way, because I said the first man you fall in love with is your father. I didn't fall in love with him because he was hardly around. Even though he lived with us, he was hardly around. So I never ever fell in love with him. I never knew what that felt like. I never felt like I was loved. I never felt like, you know, he actually cared about me. And that's from me being probably, I don't know, 6 upwards from what I can remember. When I was younger than that, I can't remember it. My childhood, my memory is so rubbish I can't remember. So I don't know if it was a different dynamic then, but from what I remember growing up, I didn't really have that daddy girl kind of thing. I wasn't a daddy's girl. I wasn't that person. And when we left and we came here, we moved to house and stuff, I think from the age of like 11 to 16, I literally blocked my dad out of my head. I literally grew up in my head with no father. I had no dad. Nobody asked me about him. Nobody questioned me about him. In my head, he didn't exist. And I was so angry towards guys. I never realized why I was so angry. I never realized or understood why I was so aggressive to guys. Like, boys that were interested in me, I would always push them away. I would always like be not was never interested. I just didn't want to know. In secondary school, I didn't have a boyfriend until probably I was 16 when I left. I had no interest in guys. I just was just like, nah, not interested. And then when I went to college, that is when I started really getting interested in boys and dating and having boyfriends and all that stuff, thinking you're in love when you're really not. Protective of myself, so protective of myself. I was guarding my heart with like a brick wall, an iron wall and a fence. It was just like, nah, nobody is getting to my heart, no one. And I was so aggressive, like guys that wanted to be with me, it was like, nah, not happening, not happening. I'm not gonna let you break my heart. I'm not gonna let you hurt me. And I didn't understand where that's coming from. I was just doing it because that's all I knew what to do. And when I got to university, that's when I started exploring serious relationships. And I say serious because I've never had a serious relationship. I've never had a long-term relationship. My longest relationship was like, I don't know, a year, if that. I've never had a serious relationship like that. So I've never really, I don't think I've ever had a man to say he is my man and we went through this. I think I've dated a lot of boys. I've dated a lot of boys. At the age of 27, I would like to be in a relationship. I would like to grow and develop with somebody because I do want to get married, and I do want to get married in my 30s. And if I do plan to have kids, I want to start in my 30s. So I do always think about that, and it is always in my mind. But it's not my #1 goal right now. I'm not trying to get wifed and, you know, in a house, have my children and just do nothing. That's not really my goal. But it is something you know, you think about from time to time about marriage and stuff. Last relationship was a year ago. It was long distance, and I've spoken about it before on this channel, that I was giving so much to him, so much, and getting nothing back. And I think the reason I was doing it was because with my dad, he symbolizes rejection to me. He symbolizes a man who didn't want me, a man who doesn't love me, a man that I don't know what love feels like. I don't know what it feels like to have love from a man, my father being the first person. My grandfather, my granddad is my father figure. He is my, you know, dad's figure, but he isn't my dad. So I don't know what it is like to have love from my dad. And with men who don't want me, I see the same pattern. I see it as rejection. I see it as, you don't want to be with me, you're rejecting me, you don't love me, you don't care for me, it's rejection. And I say that because I would get in, you know, dating situations with people where I date them for like 4 or 5 months and then they disappear, or they lose interest, or they don't want to be with me. And it was the same pattern over and over again from, I think, from like 2011 till last year. I was experiencing the same thing. I get to know a guy, he's amazing, everything's going cool, and then 5 months down the line or 6 months down the line, it's like, nah, I don't want to commit to you, I'm not interested in being your man. Cool. Or it'd be the other side where guys are only interested in having sex with me. Guys only want to desire me or lust after me for sex. They don't actually want to know anything to do with me. They don't actually care about me. They just want something from me. So it's kind of a battle, like guys who only want me for sex, guys who are interested in me but don't actually want to commit to me, and there's no middle ground. So for me, that is all a form of rejection, which is in relation to my dad. So I didn't actually understand that for a long time. I think I only really understood it last year. I only really kind of put the pieces together and was, or no, the year before, and said to myself, okay, I know what this is, I know what this represents, I know what this means. And with my ex-boyfriend, because it was long distance, I was trying to hold on to him so much. I didn't want nobody else to have him. I didn't want nobody else to love him. I didn't want no girl coming in and taking my space, because it was another form of, I don't want him to leave me. I don't want to be rejected by somebody who I feel has so much love for me and has so much emotion for me. So I'm going to hold on to it. I want to hold on to it so badly because I never had this before. And he still went and cheated on me and did what he did or whatever. As much as I was trying so hard, it still happened. And then I had to really think about it and say to myself, do you know what? I can't be responsible for this, in the sense of what my dad did, or what my dad is currently doing, because I haven't had any contact with him, is not my responsibility. He is a man. He's a full-grown man with children who he doesn't have any responsible care for. He doesn't care about them. So I can't take that weight on. I can't be like, I need to hold on to what he's done and I have to make sure that I can't hold on to that. I have to do what's right for me. I have to make sure that I am loved. I have to make sure that I love myself. I have to make sure that I'm building myself up. I have to make sure that I'm the strongest that I can be for me. Because when that guy does come along and he does reject me, I know how to deal with it. I know how to carry on my day. I know how to do what I need to do. I can pick myself up and keep going. And that is what I have learned over the past 2 years. Before, I wouldn't be a person that's like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. But it would hit me. I'm a silent hurter, if that makes sense. I suffer in silence. I don't really vent like, I can't believe you did this, go smash up windows and all that. That's not the way that I channel my aggression. I am a very silent aggressor like that. And obviously I rant and I vent and stuff on here and stuff, but I don't think that's any related to that or whatever. And if it is, then it is what it is, whatever. But I don't really do the whole burn your car, call your phone. Like, when I break up with guys, that's it. Cool, we're done. Good, gone, bye. I don't do any of the kind of aftermath thing. It's just not my thing. And I'm a very calm person in relationships as well. I'm not an angry girlfriend. I'm not a person like, where you been, who you been with, da da da. I'm very cool. I'm a very cool person, I think. So when it comes to relationships, I'm very cool. I'm not the dynamic girlfriend. I'm not that person. And I think sometimes I need to be, because when I'm not, it allows guys to do what they want. And I don't have the energy to chase guys or to mother them or whatever, but I think in some situations when I look back, I could have brought things up. I could have said something, if that makes sense. So I still assess that and the way that I am in relationships, but still, like I said, I haven't had a serious relationship to even know what it feels like to get to that dynamic. I've never had an argument in a relationship, so I don't know how to deal with that. I'm a person that when an argument happens, I walk away from an argument. I don't really argue with people. So that's something still I have to learn when I get to that stage, because no relationship is perfect. But even with dating guys and guys that I have feelings for, or guys that I feel like I possibly have been in love with, and them not wanting to be with me, it hurts. It really hurts you, and you don't know how to deal with it because you've never really healed over the heartbreak of your father. I never really felt about it, but I never really thought about it. But I hadn't healed from the fact that my heart has been broken by my dad. I never really thought about it. And I think it came up when I watched Iyanla Vanzant's episode of Fix My Life with DMX and his son. And I was sitting there watching it. I was like, I understand where he's coming from. I completely understand where his son's coming from. And I started crying and I was like, this is me. I completely get this. I understand what he's doing. And I spoke to my mum about it. And because my mum's got her father in her life and she's never had the absent father in her life, she doesn't know what I'm feeling. She doesn't know what I'm experiencing. I had to explain it to her. My mum was like, I never really thought about that, because obviously if you don't experience something, sometimes you don't know what it feels like. You just don't know. And I had to say to her, like, I've been aggressive towards guys. I've been so shielded against men because of my father, and I want to stop doing that. I want to be able to open my heart to people. I want to be able to be loved. I want to be able to experience love. And she said to me, your father is the best example of a guy who you don't want. He has shown you the best example of the guy you don't need or the guy you don't want. So he's the guy you shouldn't be going after. And I realised the guys I was going after were very similar to my dad. Because that's all I've ever known as my first love, if that makes sense. So I was always going after that type of guy. I was never going after the guy that I felt was different to him. I was always going after the guy that treated me the same. And that's why I was getting the constant rejection. And now, even in my recent dating life, I was dating somebody October to December, the same pattern. I was rejected. We was dating, and then one day he was like, I'm done. I'm no longer interested. And it was like, wait a minute. I know what this feels like. But it was different because I knew how to handle it. I knew it wasn't my fault. I knew it had nothing to do with me. I knew that I couldn't be responsible for the way he felt about me. I couldn't force him to like me. I couldn't force him to love me. I couldn't be in control of how I wanted him to feel about me. The way that he felt about me is the way that he felt about me, and it's okay. I don't have to take on the energy. I don't have to deal with the energy. All I have to deal with is myself. I have to now look at it and say to myself, do you know what? That happened with that guy. That experience happened with that guy. And now I know what not to do in my next situation. I know what kind of guy not to go for. There were signs that were popping up, and that women's intuition, trust me, it works. You need to listen to it. Women's intuition is like your God-given gift as your signal for when crap is happening. And I was ignoring it because I wanted him to like me so badly, because I liked him so much. And when I now look back on it, I didn't even like him that much. The reason I felt like I liked him so much is because I wanted him to like me so much. And I wasn't even that into him when I think about it. So it's like, what was I really doing? I just wanted attention to have attention. That's all it was. And now I'm in a space of, I am so carefree and so free right now, and so in love with myself, that the way I look at relationships, the way that I look at dating is so different. I'm in a space of, I just don't really care about guys right now. I don't really care about how they feel about me, because it has absolutely nothing to do with me. It's not my responsibility to take on how a man feels about me. It's his choice. It's his feeling. I can't be responsible for that. So I'm not going to try and make him feel a certain way about me because I want to be loved or have attention so badly. All I can do is think about myself, and all I can do is work on me and become the best woman I can be, and become the best woman I can be for myself, and make sure that my heart is so strong that if anything was to happen in another situation, I know how to deal with it. When I broke up with my ex, I cried for like a day and I was done. My mum was like, you're only going to have one day to cry and that's it, you're done. Because all these tears you're shedding, I bet you he ain't shedding no tears for you. So what are you really crying about? And when I think about it, like, a lot of the guys I've dated, except I think there's only 2 guys that I've dated that I really wished something happened, something, you know, happened. And there's one of them that I can really say that I think I fell in love with, and he's still my good friend. But I don't actually feel like, I feel so kind of partially healed, because I'm not fully healed. I still have a lot to learn and still have a long way to go. But my mindset has changed so much, and I'm so happy that it has. And this is why I wanted to do this video, because I know somebody watching this could probably relate to how I'm feeling or how I felt in those situations. When you don't have a dad in your life, it's very hard to relate to what love is from a man. It's so hard because you just don't know what it looks like. You don't know what it is, and you start looking for it in places that it doesn't exist. You start looking for it in the wrong places. You start wanting and seeking attention from people that you don't really need it from. And I see it so much on social media. I see it so much in real life, in, you know, people around me craving the attention for men because they don't have that person in their life. And we do it subconsciously. We do it without knowing, because we don't know where it's coming from. We don't understand it until we actually assess it. And I actually had to sit down and assess it and think about, what the heck am I doing? Why do I feel this way? What is really going on? And how am I going to go forward? Because it's not helping me. It's actually hurting me. And I need to really make sure that I am at the forefront of what I'm doing. I am the person that's in control of me, and I have to make sure that whatever I do is the best interest, or in the best interest for me, and I have to make sure that I love myself first. I don't need to have a man tell me that I'm beautiful, because I know I'm beautiful. I don't need to have a man to tell me that I'm amazing, because I know I'm amazing. The guy that wants to be with me is gonna have to go above and beyond to get me. I tell you, like, you can't be coming with me and that Drake stuff. It ain't gonna happen. You can't come with me these soppy little things. I've heard that, been there, got the t-shirt and the rose petals in a box that I've kept from past relationships, okay? I understand what that looks like. You have to be so high standard that when you tell me something, it literally is like, whoa, what is this? I don't know this one. What's this one about? I can't settle for the just enoughs or the good enoughs. I can't settle for the guy who thinks that it's good enough to tell me, yeah, you're gorgeous, you're beautiful, you're amazing. I've heard it before. I've been there before. I tell myself that. Come with something new. Show me something new. Show me something that's actually going to really make me feel like you are the one. And in the 2015 we're in right now, there ain't a lot of guys doing that. A lot of the guys that I've dated recently or spoken to, they're not about that life. I do meet him because I do believe that God has him there, you know, working on him, and I believe that when I do meet him, it will all happen at the right time, and I'm not rushing anything. I'm not desperate for no man. I don't need a man right now. I'm not like I need a man, need a man, need a man. I'm really happy being single. I am having fun. I get to do what I want. I don't have any stress on my head. I don't have no man ringing down my phone for no foolishness. I am good. I'm in such a good place right now. And because I'm in such a good place, and because I have healed, partially healed, that is why I wanted to talk about this to whoever may be watching this and may be able to relate to this, because I completely understand what you're going through. If you're going through this, I completely know what it feels like to be a daddyless daughter, and I completely understand that pain. And I want you to know that your pain is not invalid. Your pain is not invisible. Your pain means something, and I completely understand where it comes from. And some people who've never experienced that can't relate to that. Some people will say that it makes no sense. But it's fine. It's not for them to understand. It's for you to really work on and to know that you are an amazing person. You deserve the best. You don't have to settle for these nobodies and these foolish guys out here. They are not worth your time. You don't need them. You don't need to have them fill any space, to facilitate any gap. You don't need it. All you need to do is work on you, because once you've worked on you and you fall in love with yourself and you've created a standard for yourself that you are not going to go below, any guy you meet has to meet that. Otherwise, they are wasting your time. They are wasting your time. You need somebody that's going to value you, someone's going to respect you, someone's going to love you the way that you deserve to be loved and to be treated. And because, you know, as a daddyless daughter, we may not know what that looks like to be loved, but we will know what it looks like when it's meant to be. We will know what that means. And to be loved doesn't mean that a guy's buying you things and he's, like I said, telling you you're beautiful stuff. A lot of love is through actions. It's about the way somebody treats you and the way they care for you and the way they go above and beyond for you. That is what love really is. It's not about, you know, somebody's buying you a pair of shoes and a bag. That ain't love. You can buy your own shoes and bag. That ain't nothing. Book. And this book, I think that if you are a daddyless daughter, you need to read this book. This is Peace from Broken Pieces by Iyanla Vanzant. How to get through what you're going through. I'll leave the link down below. This book I read, or started reading it last year, and a lot of the things that Iyanla's been through I can relate to, and a lot of the things that she spoke about I can relate to, and it just made me think about things in a different way, and it was part of my healing. So if you haven't read this book, read this book, because there are some relations to it, and there's some other books that I'm going to get in to do with this topic, because I do feel like you have to constantly read to learn and to build and to grow. So this is one of the books that I've read that I felt like kind of contributed to my healing. So like I said, I hope this helps somebody. If you ever want to talk to me about anything, even if it's not this topic, it's something else, my email's always there for you to send me a message. I will always reply. Don't feel like you can't talk to me. I'm here to listen. I'm here to reply. I'm here if you need to talk to me about anything. So my email's down below. Just hit me an email and we can talk back and forth. I don't really care what time it is. You want to send it, send it. I will always reply. So I want to say thank you for watching this. I really appreciate if you've watched the whole video. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe, click like if you like this video. If you ever want to share anything with me, like I said, send me an email and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.